All right, so welcome to Inside Abode. I have Ryan Knicely with me right now, and man, just tell them a little bit about yourself. Like, where you from? What do you do? What's going on, man?
Yeah, so Virginia boy, from the quasi South.
Okay. What's quasi South like for our listeners? What do you?
Yeah,
what is that?
I mean, there will be parts of Virginia that's very very shocked about that statement, but a lot of Virginians consider themselves Southern because they're below the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
Right. Mason-Dixon line separating the North and the South.
Okay.
In the Civil War. Right.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's the Mason-Dixon line.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole deal there. So
forgive my ignorance. I'm not.
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining this.
Yeah. We've been texting about that book I'm reading, The Color of Compromise, which has been. It's been really humbling to be a. I don't want to get too far off a tangent here, but
oh no, this is good, man.
I think few Americans would really know our past when it comes from the white Europeans interacting with people of color,
right.
Whether it be Native Americans or African Americans.
Yeah.
It's humbling.
Yeah.
And it can really leave, I think, at least it can lead me to a place of like being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And not really knowing what to do now in that space.
Well, I don't think you're alone in that. And we did not know.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, we didn't mean to get into this conversation, but I'm game.
Yeah.
But like, I woke up yesterday and I was just going, it's exhausting for me. You know what I mean? As a black dude, like, I wake up, this was my tweet, I said, imagine waking up every day reading stories that basically say you're the lesser race, almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And it's just like a constant reminder. And for me, I have a master's degree, like I'm a professional, like I'm grown, but it still impacts me. Like, because you go out and try to do good in the world and try to treat everyone the same. And obviously I feel strongly about everybody. But then you go out and read that, and then you have to like explain what that means and how it impacts you without sounding like I hate white people, or I hate this, or I hate, like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
But I also have to address like how I feel and how it makes me feel. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's. But I'm glad I want to read that book though. What's the book again for our listeners? Like, what
it's called The Color of Compromise by Jamar Tisby.
Okay.
Believe he's from Virginia, could be wrong there, but he's a PhD historian, the book really centers on how the American church has participated in all the way going back to treatment of Native Americans, but also the role they played in slavery. It's humbling being a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant in America. It is humbling to know what role my heritage has played in the race relation game in this country. Yeah.
But I think that, and I applaud you, because I think that you are doing things that are helpful in your cause and helpful in the cause. Like, so can you talk a little bit about the brothers and sisters thing? Now, again, we were talking before this podcast about where we were going to go.
Yeah.
But I think this is interesting. Your truth is interesting.
Yeah.
And, like, what other, you're working with the Tacoma Rescue Mission.
Yeah.
You have Big Brother, Big Sister.
Yeah.
Like, talk a little bit more about that kind of stuff and what led you to do some of that work in the community.
Yeah. Well, specifically in regards to Big Brothers, Big Sisters, it's really interesting because when I signed up, if you're not familiar with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, really it's just a mentorship, friendship pairing of probably most likely an older person with somebody in middle school, elementary school, or high school.
Right.
And it was really interesting because during my application process, they asked, like, hey, do you prefer any ethnicity? And of course, I'm like, no, I don't care.
Right.
But I don't think it was probably 3 months into my relationship with my little, where he, said there's all kinds of things that he said about race.
Yeah.
Number one, he gets picked on because he is, I guess you would define him as first generation African American. His parents are both from Ghana.
Okay.
Right, and so he doesn't really have a space to fit in because his skin is very, very dark.
Right.
But he was hoping for a black guy. He really he was he was, and I don't have any. There's no issue there.
Yeah.
But he ended up saying, "But you're all right," which was it was fine that he could be honest like that.
Dope.
But it is interesting that he wants to talk about that stuff.
Yeah,
it's really cool. When I was his age, and we've talked about this before, I played basketball. Uh-huh. I think there was 12 dudes on the team.
Yep.
And there was 11 black guys and me,
Yep.
right? And we went to a school called Robert E. Lee High School.
Mm-hmm.
Robert E. Lee High School, who was in charge of the Confederate Army.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So when I was, and this is 2000, 2003 to 2005, that wasn't a conversation at all.
Right.
Hey, we need to change the name of that high school. But now, we've talked about this, that high school is no longer Robert E. Lee High School.
Crazy.
Yeah. And so it's funny how, it's crazy how things change so quickly. I'm from 30 minutes away from Charlottesville, Virginia, which was...
and we were texting about that as that happened. Like, man, that's so crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's getting back to being overwhelmed. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
It is.
There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you talking about that, though. I think that it's important that we have those conversations, and that's one of the missions of Abode is community. You know, and part of community is talking about redlining, talking about all of these systems of oppression that we have almost, I don't want to say like we inherited them, because they're still going on and some of us don't accept them, but the fine line between exacerbating it but also doing something about it and trying to, at least if nothing else, educate people on these things, I think is a part of self-discovery, and I really applaud you for that, man. I really respect you a great deal because
something I wanted to share that really impacted me last night was in the book I was reading, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment were huge for African American men, right?
Oh, yeah.
Gave them we're free, you can vote.
Yep.
But it wasn't until the next century that women had the right to vote. So just think about, we are not that far away from the Civil War.
Yep.
And we're even closer to where there were men who said women don't deserve to vote.
Yep.
So it's just, I think it's really easy to think that was so long ago, but in reality, it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
No,
none of this was long ago.
It wasn't.
We're still, even as a country, we're still fairly young, and
really young,
And right now, I think we're going through a time where we're still discovering ourselves and trying. We're not there. It's going to be interesting to see what the next 20 and 30 years look like, and as far as like you're going to have a newborn coming in. We'll get into that later. That's another topic for probably another podcast. But I have two mixed sons coming into this world, and we knew that before we even had those kids. Before we had our boys, we made intentional decisions about what we named them. Yeah. We made intentional decisions about everything, where we lived, how we, and so a lot of people don't have to make those decisions, but we had to make those decisions because we knew they were mixed race and they were going to have to deal with some of this stuff. Yeah. And it's interesting. But That's a pretty heavy topic.
Wow. You were planning this. You wrapped me in.
I swear I didn't plan that.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about this dude on your shirt and what that means to you. So could you show him what's up? Yeah, we got the kid, Ken Griffey Jr. For those that don't know.
Yeah.
But,
So this is how I sum it up with.
Talk to me about Mariners baseball. Let's just cut to the chase.
Wow. Okay, hold on.
Man.
I just want to point out Ken Griffey, Jr.
Okay.
So the logo of Michael Jordan, what's the logo called? Jumpman.
Jumpman, yeah, right? Yeah.
Ken Griffey had his own logo and was called Swingman. Do you remember it? Do you remember that
logo? Yes.
Right?
Because his swing, he has the best swing in baseball ever.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the most powerful swing. Yeah.
I mean, literally, that's where Nike went with Ken Griffey Jr., right? They're like, okay, we've got Jordan, and we got his logo called Jumpman.
Did you see I want to, before you get there, because you're talking about Jordan and Ken Griffey, did you see the video that went viral the other day on, like, Jordan when he was playing baseball at the All-Star game going to Ken Griffey Jr. asking for an autograph?
Wow.
And
I didn't
the tweet
know
was
that.
like, I've never seen Jordan stand for somebody like this. And I watched the video. I was like,
it's pretty amazing.
Jordan, like, in the locker room, like, where's Ken Griffey at? And he wanted to get his bat signed, and Griffey's just sitting there just with people around him. He's like, oh, it's just like, damn, Jordan was standing for Griffey.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, Ken Griffey Jr. is the best baseball player that's ever played the game. And
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, I won't argue with the injuries really got in the way.
Right.
But if you want to talk about, there's 5 tools in baseball. I mean, he was A++ in every aspect of the game. I don't really know. I don't think there was anybody that was better than him. Plus, he was beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, to watch him rob a home run or just to swing a bat.
Yeah.
Plus, he had that smile. I mean, it was just...
He had it all, man.
He
and
did.
We had him right here in Seattle. That's what's crazy.
But
like, so where the Mariners, man, like, talk to me, because I'm a casual fan. We've always talked about this. I'm a casual fan. I'm trying to find reasons to get back into the Mariners, but it's not easy, man.
No, it's not. I mean, last year was a really hard year. Hearing a hero of mine in Robbie Cano getting popped for steroids, and then to see the organization's stance on that was kind of strange. But much like the Seahawks, and I'm actually starting to like the Seahawks more now,
right?
Because of the organizational direction they took. They said, "Hey, we've got some guys in our locker room who think they're bigger, than this team, and we're shipping them out, and we're gonna start over." And they had some success this year.
Because I heard I forget who I was listening to the other day. They're sitting with Angie Mintic on the show. and he was saying that. Do you think that they're following the Seahawks like blueprint and doing that by shipping all these guys out?
They would be smart if they did that. And I mean, in essence, they got rid of every person they possibly could have, and some regretfully so. I mean, Nelson Cruz. I have never heard one bad thing about Nelson Cruz.
Right.
Other than he got popped for steroids too, but we'll push that to the side. But I've heard amazing things about him, and he was still very productive, but he was older, and so they let him go. And so this year, this is just like Seattle Mariner fans. Like, I think somebody whispered the idea of, hey, we're not going to be that bad this year, but I think this year is going to be a really hard year.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? We thought that about the Seahawks, and so
and
that ended up being pretty decent.
True.
So hopefully, I'm praying that this is the year that I jump back on the Mariners bandwagon. We will see if that happens. All right. So where can they find you?
Yeah.
Thank you for all the information, but where can they find you, man? Like, tell people where they can find you.
Yeah. So
online, wherever.
So recently, I would say in the last year, my my safe space on the interwebs has really been Instagram. It's a beautiful platform. A lot of the negative things are not welcome there. So you can easily find me on Instagram, Ryan.Knicely. Knicely starts with a K, right? So you can find me there. You can obviously find me. Just do a Google search, Ryan Knicely with a K, Knicely. And you can find my phone number, my email, my website, all from a quick Google search.
Cool.
But if you want to like really get to know me, the quickest and easiest, probably just go on Instagram and look me up. Yeah.
For sure. Well, I appreciate the time, man.
Oh, yeah. It was a pleasure, man.
Definitely.
All right.
Appreciate it, man.
Okay.